Next up, we have what all hobbits love, food. So first up, you can craft a barrel with 6 of any wood, 2 iron, and a bucket. Now barrels are pretty important to Middle Earth because there's an entirely new process called brewing which is added in. You can brew various drinks and stuff. So yeah, you craft a barrel like that. But you also need mugs to get to, make the drinks. So first you craft a clay mug with 2 tin and 1 clay, and it creates a clay mug. And then you have to put a clay mug in a furnace and smelt it into a mug. And then with the mugs, you can make mugs of chocolate by taking a mug of milk, which you get by basically milking a cow using a mug. So you create that craft by crafting together a mug of milk, sugar, cocoa beans, and you can create your own mug of chocolate, which everybody loves. Everybody. So I'm actually going to keep this on me because I'm going to test out all of the foods when I'm done showing the crafting recipes. Next up, we have apple crumble, which is craftable with 3 wheat, 2 apples, 1 sugar, and 3 milk. That's apple crumble. There's also plates, which are added in the mod, which are pretty cool, because plates, when you place them down, allow you to place food on them and eat them instantly. Instead of waiting a couple seconds to eat, you right-click and it instantly is devoured. So you can also throw them at people, which is fun. You can have your own little food fight. So you can craft a clay plate with 3 clay, and then you put that in the furnace to create the actual plate. Now there's also cherry pie, which is crafted with 3 wheat, 2 cherries, 1 sugar, and 3 milk. Oh, also, as you may have noticed, there's also new apples added in to the Lord of the Rings mod, and you get these from apple trees, from the leaves of the apple trees. So, yeah. Next chest. Okay, here we have cooked rabbit, which you put raw rabbit in a furnace and cook it into some cooked rabbit, and whoopsies. So yeah, you get raw rabbit from killing rabbits. You can also create rabbit stew with 1 bowl, 2 potatoes, and 1 cooked rabbit. So yeah. And over here, we have uncraftable food. So this is stuff you either find around or trade for. So these are Morgul shrooms. So they're Morgul shrooms. Lembas, which is the bread of the elves, that is capable of. Oh, whoa! There's thunder. Let us clear that up before it destroys something. Anyway, so there's Lembas, which is the famous elven bread that can fill your stomach with 1 piece. And there's lettuce, there's gammon, there's pears, mallow nuts, green drought, and brown drought. So alright, so yes, those are the various foods. So let's go to game mode 0 to eat out of this awesomeness. First, we need to make ourselves hungry, though. So let's do I know, I forgot how to make myself hungry. Alright, I'm gonna look that up really quick, and I will be back in a second. Hey guys, I'm back. So, I've just looked up how to make oneself hungry. So oh. I did it wrong, sorry. So let me get this figured out. There we go. So we have the mug of hot chocolate and all mugs of stuff you can place down. So let me drink this up real quick. So the mug of chocolate fills up 3 health. So next we have the apple crumble, which you place down like a cake. And 1 slice will give you 1 heart of, will restore 1 heart of hunger. And then we have the cherry pie. 1 slice of that will restore 2 hearts of hunger. Then we also have cooked rabbit, which restores 3 hearts of hunger. And let's make ourselves hungrier. There we go. So next we have rabbit stew, which restores 5 hearts of hunger. Then we have Morgul shrooms, which actually poison you. They do not restore any hunger at all. However, you will want to collect these because you can actually use these for brewing later. Next up we have Limbos. So, let me just show you how awesome it is by making myself hungry again. There we go. So, I'm now hungry. So 1 piece of Lembos will actually restore your entire hunger bar. So, if you're like really desperate and you come across an elven trader, you should definitely buy this stuff because it is worth the money. So now we have the lettuce, which restores 1.5 hearts of hunger. Then we have gammon, which restores 4 hearts of hunger. So let's just shove all this stuff up here. Shove that up there. And then let us try this stuff. So next we have the brown end drought, which will restore 4 hearts of hunger. Now let's get myself hungry again. There we go. So the green end drought actually doesn't restore any hunger, but gives you speed, haste, and strength for a minute. Next we have mallow nuts, which you get from leaves of mallow trees. And these restore 1 heart of hunger. Oh, it's still the old bush effect. I thought it was something new. Sorry. Next we have pears, which you can get from pear trees. And these restore 2 hearts of hunger. Alrighty. So now that that's done, let's go back to game mode 1. continue along. So next up, we have various materials that you would use in this mod. So we have copper ingots, which you make from smelting copper ore. We have tin ingots, which you make from smelting tin ore. We have bronze ingots, which you make by crafting tin and copper together, and you make 2 bronze ingots. Then we have silver ingots, which you can create with 9 silver nuggets, or by smelting it, or by smelting silver ore into a silver ingot. And there's mithril ingots, which you can create with 9 mithril nuggets, or by smelting the ore. And then there's narite gems, which you can get by smelting narite ore. And then there's pipeweed leaves, which come from the pipeweed plants from earlier. And you can find pipeweed plants in various places around the Shire. You can use pipeweed leaves to create pipeweed seeds, which you can use to grow more pipeweed. And I'll show you why you'll want to do that later. But there's also new ways of crafting dyes. You can use Eleanor or yellow iris flowers to create yellow dyes now. You can also use asphodel and nifredil to create white dye, which is just the same as bone meal, except it doesn't grow things. You can also create bluebell blue dye using bluebell flowers. There's also quandite crystals, which you get from smelting quandite ore. There's goldirol crystals, which you get from smelting goldirol ore. Now there's also these things that you find. There is orc steel, which you get from somewhere else. There's warg fur, warg bones, dwarf steel, galvorn ingots. You get these all. You can get these from various other ores. We've got various bones. We've got orc bones, which you get from killing orcs. And the warg bones and warg furs you get from killing wargs. We've got elf bones, which you get from killing elves. Dwarf bones, which you get from killing dwarves. Hobbit bones, which you get from killing hobbits. Yorick steel ingot, which comes from Yorick steel. Troll bones, which come from trolls. Morgul steel from Morgul steel ore. And sulfur and saltpeter, which come from sulfur and saltpeter ore from mining it. And you can actually use this stuff for something. You can craft these two together with 1 piece of charcoal. And yes, it has to be charcoal, not normal coal. So you craft these two with a piece of charcoal, and you can create gunpowder, which is the only way of getting gunpowder in Middle Earth, because no creepers spawn. Down to the wage pig. Anyway, next up, we have various other things. So we've got pressure plates. We've got new kinds of pressure plates. So this black pressure plate you create by crafting 2 Mordor rocks. You can create a button with Mordor rock. You can create another pressure plate with 2 Gondor rocks. You can create a button with Gondor rock. You can create pressure plates with Rohan rock and Sarluin. And you can create Rohan and Sarluin buttons. Oh, weather again. Next up, we have pouches which you can use to carry things. So you can buy small pouches from Hobbit or pretty much any trader, and you can make larger pouches. So small pouches have 3 slots that you can use. So when you right click them, you'll find that you have 3 slots to use. So I can put, say, gammon, lettuce, and limbos in this small pouch. And it all works. So you can craft together 2 small pouches to make a medium pouch, and you actually do not have to take out the contents of the pouches before crafting them. It'll actually put the stuff inside the larger pouch. So let me show you what I mean. I'll take these 2 and actually go into this hobbit hole over here. Flying, why are you failing me? Okay. Oh, there's an egg. Okay. Random egg. Okay. Why is flying failing me? It's really annoying when Minecraft does that. Fails you. There we go. Alright. Oh, whoops. Alrighty. So let's show you what I mean. So if you have a small pouch with stuff inside it, you don't need to take the stuff out before crafting it into a medium pouch, because the medium pouch will have the stuff inside it. See? We still have all the stuff inside the medium pouch, and now we can fit more stuff inside, which is pretty cool. So it's a pretty cool way of compacting your inventory, you know, on those. I got a random egg. Don't need that. Anyway. Stupid fence, I suppose I could just open it. So, pouches are a really cool way of compacting your inventory if you're going on adventures and you end up using up a lot of space. You can use pouches to compact it and make room for more stuff. You can also make large pouches by crafting together 3 small pouches, or a medium pouch and a small pouch. There's also pipeweed, which you can create by smelting pipeweed leaves, and you use this stuff for smoking. Yes, there are pipes in here, and you can smoke little pipe rings. Next up, we have the currency in Middle-earth, which are the silver coins. You can craft those with 4 silver nuggets from earlier. Alrighty, so remember the remains block from earlier in the video? Well, you get stuff like ancient sword hilts, ancient sword blades, ancient sword tips, and ancient armor plates from these things, from the remains blocks, if you mine them. And you can craft an ancient sword hilt, ancient sword blade, and ancient sword tip together to create an ancient sword. And what's special about the ancient stuff is that if you're in survival, as soon as it enters your inventory, let me show this off actually. Whoops. It'll turn into one of the swords or items from this mod. So it'll turn into a half-used Gondorian sword with sharpness 1. And you can create ancient daggers with an ancient sword hilt and an ancient sword tip. And let's see what I get that from that. I get a Galdarim. I get a slightly used Galdarim dagger. You can create armor sets too. So 5 ancient armor plates in tradition. We'll create the ancient helmet. So let's see what we get them from that. We get a Gondorian, partially used Gondorian helmet. That's pretty cool. So next up, we have the ancient chestplate. So you basically just use the ancient armor plates and the traditional armor recipes for all of these. So from the ancient chestplate, we get a half-used Gondorian chestplate with fire protection 1. That's pretty good. From the ancient leggings, we get barely used orc leggings. That's pretty cool. From the ancient boots, we get barely used Galderan boots. So let's shove all this random stuff in here. Next up, you can also make your own leather hats, which you can create with 4 leather. Leather hats, Hobbit sheriffs wear. It's pretty cool. Let's go back to game mode 1 for this. What's really cool about these leather hats is they're actually fully customizable. What I mean by that is, wait, let's look at this. Look at that swag. Ain't that awesome? Anyway, so what's really cool about the leather hats is that they are fully customizable. You can craft them together with various dyes to change the colors, and you can craft feathers together with various dyes to create dyed feathers, and you can put dyed feathers together with leather hats to get a hat with a feather in it. So it's all pretty cool. I'm actually going to leave that on because it has swag. I mean, why else? That was everything there. Okay, so next chest. So yes, here's an example of the dyed feathers. This feather with rose red and creates a red dyed feather. And like I said before, you can craft those together with hats to have a hat with a feather. Here are the various things you can't craft. The hobbit pipes, hobbit rings, and mystery webs. So hobbit pipes you can buy from hobbit bartenders, and you need pipe weed in order to smoke this. So every time you smoke, it'll use up on pipe weed. So when you right click, you can actually blow a nice little smoke ring, like that hobbit just did over there. And you can actually put them together with different dyes to change the smoke color. But there's also a magic pipe. A hobbit pipe. Well, it's not a magic pipe, it's with magic smoke. But with this, you can blow little smoke ships, which is pretty cool. Now there is also these hobbit rings, which you can use to perform hobbit marriages. Now you can only perform hobbit marriages if you're up a certain enlightenment. But if you are on the positive side and you're high enough to perform hobbit marriages, you can right-click 2 hobbits with different last names. Because as you can see, if I go over them in the damage indicators mod, you'll see that they all have different names. So you can marry 2 with different last names, and you'll get experience and more alignment points, which is pretty cool. Nope. Sneak peek. So let's just shove all this in there. There's also mystery webs, which you can find, which you can get from killing Mirkwood spiders. So those are pretty scary. You can get those from killing Mirkwood spiders as a rare drop, and when you right-click the mystery web, they'll give you a random item from travelers that the spiders have eaten. And this is actually the only way you can get melons in this mod. Yes, sometimes you can get melons from these mystery webs. Because melons are so rare that they only come from this, you actually get a special cape. One of the capes from earlier, if you find a melon with this. Here, let me just shove this stuff in here for now. I don't need it.